And this one has got me on the fence. I really don't know which side to take here. But if you have, and we're just going to say a good nexus and a good DBQ, which is everything we just talked about. You have the DBQ, you have the evidence, you have the nexus letter, you have the in-service event, the current diagnosis. You submit what's known as a fully developed claim. I'm not saying what you think is a fully developed claim, right? An actual fully developed claim, meaning you have the big three criteria with the DBQ. You submitted that. Is the VA going to schedule you a CMP exam? I'm going to tell you straight up, 90% that answer is yes. Have I seen FDC, fully developed claims, FDCs? Have I seen those go through without exams? Yes. Extremely uncommon. I'm talking like I can count less than 10, and I've been doing this for 4 years at this point. And are they going to send you to a CMP examiner? There's an automated processing system involved with that. That's probably where I would point the finger, or just really untrained adjudicators handling that claim. But I'll get off that horse, right? So they schedule you a CMP exam. The question is, do you go? Sure. Yes or no?
Absolutely.
I know what CFR says, that a fully developed claim does not require a CMP exam. But then I'm like, okay, well, if it's fully developed and I go to that CMP examiner, is that the VA's way? And people will say develop to deny, which is you won't find that in CFR, right? It's just a slang term, but it's what I would call a real slang term, that the VA does develop to deny. And I think a CMP exam on a FDC is an indication that it is happening. Now, I know you said yes. Because I know you're going to say yes, I'm going to make an argument for why I would not go. But I am on the fence personally. You know, if it's me, I honestly don't know what I would do. Here's my arguments for no. One, and if you're not going to go, you better be 1,000, and I mean 1,000% sure that it is a good nexus and a good DBQ, and your claim is truly fully developed. Because if it's not, and I mean one of those elements is missing, deny. 1,000% you're going to get denied, and you just wasted all that money, right? Because now that takes away your supplemental claim, because you already used that private nexus, private DBQ. You're going to have to get another one. You could do an HLR. They're going to send you to a CMP exam, by the way. It's just not going to be good. But let's just assume that that veteran did have a fully developed claim. If they did not attend the CMP exam and they were denied, a higher level review would correct it. And I've seen this happen many times, but I don't think I would ever recommend it. I hope that makes sense. I know it doesn't, because technically, no, you don't have to. But man, you are asking the VA to slap you right across the face if you don't go, and you better bet you have, or be extra sure that you have everything you need for that service connection. I'll leave it at that, Jason. Take it from there.
I say don't play with it, right? Look, if they make an exam for you, go to the exam, and do the dog and pony show. I mean, look, we're all veterans. We've all had to do the dog and pony show, right? So it's just chalk it up to that and move forward. If you miss it, bet on them either giving you a lower rating or potentially just not even service connecting you for some reason because they couldn't validate for some reason through their CMP examiner. Whatever it is. The bottom line is will you be able to correct it? Sure. Are you going to lose money? No, because you're going to get back pay. But I'll tell you what, I will take an earlier decision with monthly checks over a massive amount of back pay 10 years from now, right? So there's that. So don't mess with it. Take it for what it is. Chalk it up. You're prepared. If you're that prepared with everything and that solid, this is nothing. I mean, CMP exams for those that are prepared are nothing. It's just another day at the office, so to speak. So to me, if you have an examination scheduled or really anything, a re-examination, if the VA tells you to go anywhere at any time within a certain period of time, do it and figure it out later. Don't Yeah. On that note, real quick, I just want to throw this out there and look, I get it. This isn't really in this wheelhouse, but now that we're talking about them doing things and you having to act within a certain amount of time, is a reduction. If you get a proposal for a reduction, you have two options if you actually read through your whole packet that they send you. One is you can appeal it within 60 days of that notice. Great, you're probably going to appeal it. But you can also request a hearing at 30 days. You have to do that within 30 days. Okay, so it's a shorter time period. It is absolutely essential that you request a hearing. You must, in my opinion, request a hearing in conjunction with your appeal. So you have to do it at your 30-day mark. Why? Because the VA will not reduce you if you request a hearing while they're doing your appeal. So let's say it takes you 6 months for the appeal to play out. They're not going to reduce you while they're figuring out the appeal. But if you wait and you file for your appeal 45 days, you missed the 30-day window. Now they'll reduce you while they're going through the appeal process. So don't mess with the VA in that way. If they say to show up to something or you need to file something by a certain time frame, do it. Your last thoughts on that piece, Clay, that I threw in.
Anytime there's a reduction, I'm a fan of one, taking to a hearing, and then you also might want to. The only thing I'll add to that is you might want to consider hiring an attorney at that point. I understand the pushback. One, I am personally a fan of an attorney for cases like that because at that point you are arguing, right? It is no longer he said, she said. It is it's 38 CFR and M21 TAC 1, and then previous board hearings. An attorney is going to be good at that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've seen veterans take it on their own and they've won. That happens. I've seen veterans take it on their own and get absolutely hammered. That also happens. So food for thought, take that with you. And then one thing I'll throw at you, Jason, back on the CMP exam side is a lot of claims companies, and I won't call any out, okay, but they will advise veterans to not attend CMP exams when they have that fully developed claim. And I think the reason is because they understand it's fully developed. Now, the issue is it's just you alone. You don't, a VSO is going to tell you to go to your CMP exam 100%. So it's just you alone, no company, no attorney. Do I expect veterans, your everyday veteran, to understand the nitpicky nuance of a DBQ and a nexus? And if your claim is truly fully developed, no. And if that's you, which is like 99% of all veterans, you would probably want to attend your CMP exam. And if you want to risk it for the biscuit, be my guest. That's what I'm on the fence about because I understand the process. I don't think I would go to one. It just depends.
Here's the thing, Clay, is that you're putting too much credit on the VA side to understand it, right? So recently, there was $100 million that was screwed up within the VA for vr&e, or not vr&e, excuse me, tdiu recipients. Okay, they underpaid like 10 million of them. No, overpaid. They overpaid 10 million of them. $10 million they overpaid, and $85 million they underpaid. So the VA is consistently screwing up, right? They're consistently denying claims, giving a lower thing. You're going to the higher level. You're going to supplemental. You're pushing it to the board. They're screwing up on payments. 85 million underpaid TDIU folks. You're going to sit there and go, well, should I go to the CMP exam? I mean, it's a fully developed claim. They're going to look and they're going to say, wow, they're right. They didn't need to go to that. Dumb us. No, they're going to go, they didn't go to the CMP exam.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were a well-oiled machine, then they wouldn't send you the CMP exam. But they're not.
No,
They haven't noticed that you sent in a fully developed claim. They don't know what a fully developed claim is. They're just getting claims in. They're looking at them. They're looking for the CNP exam to say that it's service connected. And then they're trying to figure out where it falls on the rating schedule. And then they're moving it on. No CNP exam. I don't know what to do. Denied. Okay, next one. Why'd you deny it? There was no CNP exam. Oh, right? So just go. Just go. Give them what they need and move on.
Yeah, no, I'm on.
Again.
That's okay. I'm on the fence of that one, and I will say the VAs. There's a lot of. I'll leave it at this because I don't want to dive into this topic, but there's a lot of automated processing systems. The reason why the VA has record-breaking claims is because there's a ton of automated processing systems. The issue is those automated processing systems don't always work as intended, and that's probably the best way I would put it.
That's pretty nice.
I think the clearest indication is the National Work Queue had over 10,000 claims ready for decision. All they had to do was kick it out to a regional office. But the automated system didn't know that. And so it just kept stacking these claims in. And so any claim that had the word herbicide in it, this is paraphrased, any claim that had the word herbicide in it, for some reason, the system could not process those. And so it kept it at the National Work Queue. It wasn't until about 1,000 veterans was like, hey, where the heck is my claim? And then a person, a human, starts to investigate. And that's whenever they found the error in the National Work Queue automated processing system. Now, they have processing systems for claim intake, for ordering CNP exams. They have an automated processing system between CNP examiner and rater. Okay. There's an automated processing system from rater to decision. There's quality assurance. There are so many opportunities for a system to, not a person, a computer, to make a mistake. And that I can get behind 1,000%. I'll leave it at that, Jason. If you have your final thoughts on anything we talked about, and then go ahead and take us away.
Yeah, no. So I'm just going to read this last little bit, and then we'll bounce off. So from the VA's website, does everyone who files a claim need to have a VA exam? No is the answer, right? We'll ask you to have a claim exam only if we need more information to decide your claim. Stopping there, if the VA rater sees that an exam was triggered, they think we needed more information, right? They're not going to, was that a mess up? No, they don't care. They just, CNP was requested, so we must have needed more stuff. I don't have time to figure it out, so I'm just going to believe that, number one. Moving on, if you have enough medical evidence in your file to support your claim, we'll follow the acceptable clinical evidence process. That's the ACE process that Clay's talking about. This means we'll review your medical records and ask you to submit more evidence if needed instead of asking you to have an exam. Medical evidence may include doctor, hospital reports, tests, blah, blah, blah. So the bottom line on that statement is, sure, no, not everybody needs to have an exam, but they will order an exam if they believe they need more evidence. So let's follow the bouncing ball to the rater who sees clearly that you never went to your exam that they requested. Well, why did they request an exam? It's because they need more information. The rater thinks, even if they don't, and that's going to skew their mind. All of a sudden they're like, oh, this dirtbag didn't show up for their, boy, they're trying to skirt the system. We needed more evidence from them. I'm going to have to deny them, right? So don't do that. Even though Clay says that he's on the fence, he's really not. He cares about you, and he wants you to make sure that you stack the odds in your favor. So with that, now I get to just end it. That's awesome.
Now you